Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name is Jose, and today we are reviewing Godox's brand new flagship flash, the V100. Now, before we go into this video, I kind of want to lay out some ground rules and some foundational stuff first. Number one, I am a Sony shooter. Most of my stuff is through Sony. Number two, I am mainly looking at this lens from a wedding photography perspective, but we'll talk about a little bit about studio and overall workflow with this lens as well. And number three, as you can see, I am a Godox user. I have five Godox products, not including the V1. And so I use Godox a lot, and we'll talk about that as well. But first of all, before I talk about the V100, I have to just give you a quick rundown on why I bought this lens, my mindset behind it, and that'll help us understand going forward why I think the things I do about the V100. So I started with the V860 Mark II. This is currently a Mark III just because my Mark II broke. Great flash, super thin, portable. I love the analog buttons. I love the quick on and off. Great lens, a great flash. It can just take it all. It does it all. It's got a fill flash in the front. But as I was kind of upgrading my equipment, I was finding that when doing weddings, by the way, I use bounce flash. As of right now, I would just shoot it towards the ceiling and it diffuses and it creates a nice little look during receptions usually. Sometimes during wedding ceremonies, but it's rare. But I was finding that if I wanted to shoot a vertical image, my bounce card just wasn't really doing the trick because the light, if I wanted to bounce it, would bounce to the side, so I could only shoot in horizontal. Then came out the V1, Godox's first circular ball head flash, and it was great because then you can mount a bounce card on it. I loved it. It still had the same button layout and overall usage as the V863. But then I was finding that it almost felt a little weak. I didn't love it. So then I bought the AD200, the full strobe, separate light flashes. You can stick these on stands, and they're great. They're great for dark ceilings, for receptions with black ceilings or anything dark colored, dark barns as well, because you don't need to bounce the flash. You can just put it up high somewhere, aim it directly down, and it's great. But they're heavy, and obviously you can't put them directly on a camera. You can hold them, but as I mentioned, they're a little heavy, as well as they're a square head, which I'd like to look more now of a circular head. I think it spreads out better. Okay, cool. So then I was like, okay, well, what if I want something I can carry that's not too heavy? So then I tried the Luxmaster. We're not going to get into this too much, but it's okay. It's more of a gimmick. It's fun, but I didn't love it. I was finding that the flashes that I can put on my camera were also a little bit too weak. Then came out the V100, and I was super excited because, 100 watts of power. It has, we'll go into it more, a fill flash. It's got new batteries you can charge directly. It's got a touch screen. Great. It looked like we were moving in the right direction. So I bought this flash for $350 before shipping and taxes. And I have a lot to say about this thing. First of all, just to get it out of the way, this will not be a glowing, raving, great review about this flash. As a wedding professional, I am finding that I like this flash less and less, and I'm mad that I bought it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a great flash, but I don't know if it's meant for my style. The reason I am so adamant about the V860s is for a few things. One is they're light. They're a little lighter than the V100 with battery, possibly because of like the flash attachment and it's got a bigger head. Maybe it's that. Number two is they're thinner, so I can stick these in the my back pocket in my suit when I'm out doing weddings. So I don't always have to have the flash on my camera hanging off me, because I've broken hot shoes like that by having my flash hanging. Someone bumps into me, boom, cracks my Sony hot shoe out. I'm out $400 or whatever it was to repair. So okay, cool. But again, these aren't powerful enough, right? It's only the AD200, but then if I have it on a stand back there, it's still not powerful. I liked that the V100, but in case you don't know, is a 100 watt flash versus the 60 watt flashes on these two. So cool, I bought it. It also has a fill flash in the front. So my issue of like not having a bounce card was great, because then I can literally use this to throw flash directly to my subjects while also bouncing it on the top. The reason you don't see the bounce card attachment on my V1 is because I hate having to have extra pieces that I have to take on and off and on and off. Yeah, I can just kind of leave it on the camera, but sometimes I don't want any bounce flash directly to my subject. I just wanted to spread out. I don't want to be distracting. I do think it does give a good look, but sometimes I'm much more adamant about my client experience rather than the image, depending on the situation. So being able to turn it on and off directly, because this has a built-in fill flash attachment, is great. It's not just a modeling light like the V860, which, by the way, the V1 doesn't have a modeling light. It has to be directly pointed towards the subject, which I don't love. So I like that this gives you the best of both worlds. So that's great. 100 watts. Fill flash. It also has an attachment if you want to use a battery pack to better quickly cycle your flash. For those of you that don't know, real quick, cycling your flash just means that as you shoot your flash, it kind of overheats, it loses power, all that stuff, and the battery struggles to keep up with constant flash, flash, flash. Well, you can plug in a separate attachment directly to this camera that will allow the battery to recharge quicker, allowing you to shoot for more often, for longer, and more efficiently. So great so far, right? Direct charge, touchscreen, fill flash, and more power. So why don't I love this lens? Well, for one, size and weight. Yeah, it's about the same size as the V1. It's 0.3 pounds heavier, which isn't that much, but again, ounces equal pounds. Any extra weight that I have on me all day can get tiring. And it's definitely heavier than the V860. It's also a little bulkier, especially with the fill flash attachment, which I don't love. Granted, I can just take off the fill flash attachment, but then I essentially just have a V1 with slightly more wattage, which it's okay, I guess. But the whole point of getting this V1 or this V100 is so I don't have to worry about extra attachments to take on and off. I can just leave it, set it, and forget it, and I'm good, and I can turn it on and off in the flash. But I found that it's just too bulky, especially for putting it in your back pocket. It's just pain in the butt to use. At the moment, I just bought like a belt back pouch, so I can just throw it in the back pouch, but then I'm adding stuff to my kit. I'm adding stuff that I got to worry about and handle, which I didn't love. I wish, and Godox, if you're seeing this, please try this, that they had implemented this fill flash internally into the flash itself, just like the modeling light for the V860. Maybe there's not enough space in there. I get it. But I wish it wasn't like this protruding piece, because then when you're slipping it in your back pocket, it doesn't feel that great. 1. 2 is the touchscreen it's okay, it's hit or miss. I liked, the more I use the V100, I like more and more the old system of the V860, of the V1, because essentially when you turn the flash on, one, it's ready, it's good to go, but then you can press buttons, the menu's all there. Like, it's all essentially right there in front of you, versus with the V100, once you turn it on, you have to swipe up and to get to a menu, but then you can swipe to the side and get to another menu, and then to click to. It's a lot. I like the touchscreen less and less. I've also accidentally bumped the settings on it without even realizing it. So yesterday I had a wedding, and I shot about 10 images on the dance floor of the groom in like essentially darkness, because I had brought the flash down by 3 stops, essentially the lowest it can go, on accident. I don't know how I did it. But I did, and so that's something to keep in mind, is that physical buttons feel much better than the touchscreen. I like the triggers that Godox has with their new touchscreens. I don't like it for the flashes, as well as using the camera. One, the screen gets dirty quickly. It eats fingerprints like no one's business. It also the scroll wheel, the wheel in it to access, if you're not using the touchscreen, you can't press it. It's not a D-pad. It's literally just a scroll. The wheel is also much more uncomfortable to scroll than the previous flashes. It just feels like the new stipling that they have on it is just not that comfortable. So it kind of hurts to use. Yeah, you can just use the touchscreen, but sometimes I want to be very exact with where I am. And I hate that I can't press it with a D-pad and then I have to scroll it. And the scrolling, it doesn't protrude enough. It's very small in terms of like the stipling on it. And so it's not that great. But my biggest gripe about this flash, and the reason why I wanted to make this video after not making a video on my YouTube for 6 months, why I don't like this flash, is that they removed the on switch for the V1 and replaced it with a button. So if you don't know, with the previous V1, you just flick the switch on, good to go. With the V100, there is no instant switch to turn it on. You have to hold the button, and then you have to move your finger across the screen. Oh, see, I messed it up even there. And then to turn it on, good to go. So here's the thing. I am very adamant about being smart with my batteries on wedding day. Sometimes I have 3, 4 weddings back to back to back. I try my best to go home after a wedding, charge everything so I'm ready the next day. Sometimes I mess some stuff up and I have to rely on the batteries I have left that I didn't use from the previous day to get me through the next wedding day and the next one and the next one. So I always turn my gear off completely when I'm not using it. And I'm very adamant about my gear that I do use, that it turns on quickly. My Sonys are quick to turn on. That FX3, not so much, but my A7 IV, pretty efficiently. The V1, I can turn it on and off whenever I want. When I'm not needing it, oh, hey, mom's doing something with her son. Let me turn it on. Boom, get the shot. With the V100, I don't have that. I don't have that ability. I have to hold it and then swipe it. Sometimes I mess it up. And you're saying, Jose, it's not that long to turn it on, but honestly, like if I'm gonna raise the flash when it's ready to go. Ready, 3, 2, 1. Good. See, I've already messed up the swipes, and now I'm good. That's the frustration. That sometimes, especially like if I'm holding something like a bouquet for a bouquet toss or a chair, if I'm doing something and I'm trying to turn my flash on at the same time, I can't. Then you say, okay, well, just leave it on standby. Well, one is it's still going to drain power on standby, even though very, very little, but it drains less power if it's off. Another thing, too, is if I leave it on standby and I bump it on accident, then the screen's on, then I can accidentally move settings. If I don't realize that and I go in and take a photo real quick, I'm in trouble. So I don't love putting stuff on standby because it's less stuff I can control, and that this doesn't have a hard switch sends me. I wish it had a hard on and off switch. Godox, put that back, please. So then I'm wondering, okay, then what is this lens, this flash for if it's not for wedding photography, it feels like? Well, what kind of is? Because the fill flash helps you do that. It helps you have a second option for light. But it's so heavy and the on and off is so frustrating that I think, okay, it's a studio light. And I have used this in studio settings. What I find, though, is that I don't need the fill flash. If I'm in a studio environment where I can control my light a lot better, then I don't even need this. I can just get other flashes. I can get other lighting equipment and modifiers to serve that purpose, then have the fill flash on there. Oh, 100 watts. Yeah, pretty useful, but not really that important in my line of work because then I can just get the flash closer. I can add certain modifiers. I can add more lights. It's much easier to do stuff with my V1, I feel like, than with my V100. Another thing, too, is I don't know what it is. I think I'm dumb, but for me, it's much harder to connect to this with a trigger going through the settings and the functions than it is with my older flashes. It just intuitively, the menu just makes more sense versus I don't know what I did. I was on a shoot at some big, nice performance orchestral hall, and I tried connecting this to a trigger so I could just hold it directly, and I couldn't figure it out. I wasted time, my couple's time, my time, because I wanted a specific photo. I ended up just having to point this freaking flash at them and just shoot it directly instead of having that nice off angle with my trigger. So, okay, for studio environments, then just get an 8200, right? For weddings, just use the V860, the V1 if you want the round head. This, I understand if it's a good middle ground, but for $350 with the V1 being $250, I don't know if it's worth it for the extra 100. On top of that, as I'm using Godox more and more, I am just not loving their connectivity, their consistency, how their colors look. I find that a lot of my flashes aren't as accurate as TTL, with TTL as I like them to be. The color is a little bit green or red sometimes. And I see people with Pro Photo equipment, and I used to think, oh, Pro Photo is such a dumb brand, $800 for a flash, $1,200. It makes no sense, but I think the quality control of Pro Photo is the reason I'm going to switch to them. I am now officially, after a few more weddings that I just need to use this in, I'm going to sell all these flashes, and I think I'm going to switch officially to Pro Photo. This was supposed to be my saving grace, and it's not. The V100, it's a great flash. It's a great flash if you are fine carrying a lot more equipment with you, or you find with having that versatility, I think it's great. But I don't think the color consistency is there. I don't think the TTL is as accurate. And they're just bulky. They're heavy flashes. I don't want to be holding on to this all day and putting it on my camera. It's long on my camera. It's heavy. I don't love it. Now, the Godox series compared to Pro Photos like the A2 or the A10, they're much cheaper. So if you're starting off, beautiful. I think this is a great way to start off your flash journey. Build your flash equipment because you will need all these things. I have two 8200s that have saved me. But if you're a pro, dude, I did 99 weddings last year. Sorry, 80 for just one company. Another 15 through my company. Another, the rest of them through someone else. As I'm doing this, I live and breathe weddings. I live and breathe photography. I need something that is just killer consistent. As I see other photographers, Pro Photo just takes the cake. So I love that this is USB-C. I love it's 100 watts. I love that it's got fill flash and they're trying something with the touchscreen. I love that they're doing a billion different things to innovate. It's just not the flash for me. So what do I review this flash out of 5 stars? Like a 4, 3.5, 4. But honestly, I want a 5 because this is my work. This is my lifeblood, and I want to be as good as possible. The V100 just isn't cutting it. On top of that, to add icing on the cake, what frustrated me is if you buy the V100 U version, right? Buy the whatever version first is for your camera. So I'm Sony, so I'm S, V100S. If you have the U version, which most people are selling on Amazon, just watch out. I didn't know this. The U version, the United States version, does not come with a magnetic ring like the V1 has by default. Now, most sellers will include a magnetic ring, but you have to, just so you know, unattach the non-magnetic ring that comes with the U version and reattach the magnetic version that they hopefully will bring with you. But some companies might not include that magnetic ring. I don't know why that's happening. I'm sure there's some law, but then why do they sell the V1s so consistently on Amazon with the magnetic ring? And it sucks because they gave me pretty crappy screws, and so I don't know if I put them in wrong or what, but they're already kind of coming off. This flash for $350 does not feel great. If I'm going to spend money, I want to go all out. I'll spend $800, $1,000 on a flash and a trigger, which I'm going to do after this video for the Pro Photos, and I want to get my money's worth. And so this just wasn't there. I like that they're doing something different with having stops of light now instead of just the measurements like 1/32. There's much more variety in the menus. It isn't for me. And so should you buy this flash? If you have the money and you don't want to go Pro Photo, I think this is the best flash you can get for Godox. I mean, it's the new flagship one, and it does a lot, especially studio, if you're a big studio photographer, but you're not sure if you want a strictly off-camera flash, and you're thinking of just having a speedlight on your camera. Yeah, get the V100. It's expensive. Could you make do with the V1? It just depends. Do you want the 100 watts? Then go with the V100. If not, get the V1. It's cheaper. I'd like the menu system more. I feel like it's easier to connect with your flashes. But I don't love it. I don't like that it goes on standby. It's the same issue I had with the 8200. It will randomly go on standby for me. So when these flashes are high up in the air in the back of reception halls, these go to sleep. This feels like a gimmick. I don't like the light it produces. The V863 is great, but it doesn't have the round head. I feel like Godox just needs to figure this stuff out. I am now going to buy my Profoto A2. I hope it solves all my problems. And if not, then I'll buy the A10, the Speedlight. But I'm going to sell most of my stuff. I'll keep this as a backup for now because I spent so much freaking money on it. But what do you think about the V100? Some of you, I'm sure, have tested it already. Tell me if you like it or not in the comments. I don't love it. It's okay, but I'm mainly just using this because at this point it's Stockholm Syndrome. I've paid good money for this flash. I'm going to use it. I like where they're going with it, but I think they did take a few steps back by not having a straight switch and having a button instead, and having a lock that you have to manually undo with your finger. There's no setting to take that off, by the way, to undo the touchscreen turn on. It always has to be on as far as I know. And yeah, I don't know the flash. It's too bulky. So that is it for the V1. Sorry, Godox. I really was a fanboy, as you can see, for years. For about 6 years now. But I think it's time to go pro photo. I think that's the way it should be. And I like their ecosystem better from what I've seen from my fellow photographers, my fellow colleagues. But again, let me know what you think. If you have any questions about this flash, about any of these other ones, please let me know. I've used these for years. The V100 for about 6, 7 weddings so far, since I bought it a few weeks ago, a few months back, and on a few engagements. Yeah, I just wish I hadn't bought it and saved my money for a pro photo. So that is it for now. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it gave you some insight about the flash. I know we didn't go too much into like the technical requirements or specifications about this flash. If you have any questions about that, you can let me know. But honestly, that's stuff you can see online on the store page. I don't want to just regurgitate info to you. I want to give you new information practically on how this flash functions. So that is it for me. Have a good rest of your day. Be on the lookout for more reviews about all my kit as a wedding photographer. If you have any questions, of course, or review requests, video requests, feel free to put them in the comment section. The usual, like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want my mom to know that people watch me. We just passed 1,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I haven't posted in months, so I don't know what you guys are subscribing to, but I appreciate it. Seriously, it's motivated me to do more videos, so you will see a lot more on this channel. But outside of that, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all next time. Thank you.